episode number 2 of the new year.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we were on you. Well, we debuted on YouTube last week, and I said to you, didn't I? I said I was a bit optimistic about going on.
So you was nervous?
Yeah, well,
a little bit.
No, I wouldn't say I was nervous. Just a bit skeptical about it. I didn't know if it was going to take off or not. But wow. I rang you and I was like, mate, the views and the reactions, amazing. So I want to thank the viewers for doing that. And keep sharing, keep subscribing. And also, remember last week, what did we drop? We dropped the merch, Hoodies, t-shirts at Fuse Sports.
T-shirts.
Yeah, at fusesports.co.uk. Go on there, little search box, menu night, and there it is. £25 for the hoodies, £16 for the t-shirts. All the profit will be going to the Menu Night podcast and basically helping us grow this channel.
Indeed.
And today we've got Rob Blackburne on the show, who is a football mindset coach. Is that correct, bro? Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, football like mindset coach, performance coach who just helps footballers be better.
Keep going off the list.
Off the pitch to help them on the pitch. So that's what I say. Like, I help footballers be better off the pitch to help them on the pitch. Everything transcends the pitch, right? So
yeah. And prior to that, you were a youth team goalkeeper at Chelsea. Is that correct?
Yeah. So my journey was I was a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
As a goalkeeper, I was a little bit small. Like, I'm not the tallest of players. So yeah, I was at Chelsea, then just went from Chelsea, got kicked out of Chelsea. I'd like to say it was because I was too small, but truth is probably wasn't good enough, wasn't committed enough.
Did they give you that reason? Did they give you a reason when they kicked you out?
Yeah, they said I was shit. I was just joking. No. And they just said, listen, we're going to keep. I had a chance to. I had Watford approach me, and then I just stayed at Chelsea, obviously, because Chelsea was the bigger team. And then,
right, okay.
And then said Chelsea got kicked out, and I was like, do you know what? Listen, it is what it is. And then I just stayed from there. 17 years old, I went straight into non-league. So I've played non-league since then, like different levels, like so Enfield Town, Leighton, Northwood, Edgware. I just played for the enjoyment of playing, really.
Yeah.
Love playing football. Love football. I love that atmosphere. I love the changing room. I love football. So it's been a long journey to where I am now.
That's it. Let's discuss that journey.
A good journey.
Yeah, awesome journey. Like, you have to appreciate the journey. So I'll tell you a little bit, mate. I'll go the quick route to the story. So started off as a person after I got kicked out of Chelsea. I was like, do you know what? I love sport. What can I do that's in sport? So got a loan, £5,000 loan to become a personal trainer. Started off as a personal trainer, then couldn't get a personal training job for love nor money. So I had to go into offices and stuff. And I was like, this is horrific.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I got a call from David Lloyd because I put in an application form. They said, listen, come in for an interview. So I said, listen, I've got a job. And they're like, no. Like, my partner at the time, my girlfriend at the time was like, you haven't got a job yet. I was like, I have. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get there's 40 people going. And I actually got the job. So I started off with David Lloyd, personal training, stayed there for a little bit. From there, like, still playing semi-pro football, started learning about nutrition. But what you realize as a personal trainer, and that was the journey. I wasn't never interested in the movement side. I was more interested in the mental side. It's like, why aren't people, like, the question I was like, why aren't people succeeding? I'm giving all this training. It must be their nutrition.
Yeah.
Go away, learn nutrition for a few years. Did nutrition, functional medicine. So you're teaching them nutrition, you're teaching them training. You think they'd be successful, right? No, no, there wasn't. It's like, okay, why are they not? So I'm putting everything into place. I'm like, must be their mindset. And what you realize is no one talks to you. Every problem is the same kind of problem. It's a belief issue, right? It's an assumption. So someone will go, I didn't realize it until later on, until I learned about how language works. So say, for example, someone will say, I can never get past 12 stone. Never get past 12 stone.
Yeah.
So stand on the scales, hit 12 stone, and the belief system kicks in. I'm never going to get past 12 stone. And then they'll be like, oh, well, I can't get past 12 stone. I might as well start eating again. And you realize it was a belief problem. And all the problems was like, we get so much information. It was applying the information, all mindset problems, all assumptions, all stories that people were telling themselves. So started going into the mindset route, reading loads of books, etc. And then at the time, one of my mates, like from football with my like manager, he was like, I need to lose 4 stone for charity in 4 months. Can you help me with it? I was like, mate, yeah, of course I can.
Wow.
I love doing it. So he lost 4.5 stone in 4 months. Me and him become really good mates, like really, really good mates, like basically best mates. So we did everything together and holidays. Then we ran the marathon together. Like, and his kind of personality took hold of me, kind of become my mentor. So he was my mentor, my football manager, my best friend and my mentor. So when he dropped me, it was really hard. And he'd be like, pull you to the side, Rob, we're playing a team that are massive and put loads of balls into the box today. We're going to put Bomber in, who's 6'7". I'm like, well, you take it like more personally. It's like, I hate
that. How did you take that?
Obviously, that's bad. Not bad, but like, listen, you understand it. I was like, do you know what? It's fine. Like, listen, I completely get that. Like, you know what I mean? And for him making a decision like that, like I've obviously helped him so much, and then he's got to tell me that I'm not playing. And it was one of the biggest games of the season that was like being recorded for TV and stuff. So I was like, no. So I was like, do you know what? I get it. So like, as I said, me and him become really good mates. And then I was playing tennis one day at David Lloyd. He's like, oh, my shoulder really hurts. So when I did my first personal training course, like it's not like the ones that you do now where you get an internet qualification.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, it was 3 months
Classroom.
in 9 to 5, and then doing homework. It was really intense. But they taught you a bit of sports therapy at the time. So I was like, right, I'll have a look. And I was like, right, I think it's a muscular problem. So he was like, oh, okay. So then after a game, he was trying to pick up he's like, Rob, I can't pick up my pint properly. There's something wrong with me. Like, and he was like, because he got a bit of an arm, like his arms were quite good then. So I was like, does my arm look like it's wasted away a bit on this side? I was like, listen, you've been a bit of a hypochondriac, mate. I said, you'll be fine. He's like, no, I've got a brain tumor. I'm going to die. I'm like, you're not going to die. Don't be silly. Like, you're fine.
Was it being serious?
I know he was being serious.
Oh.
So he was like, right, I'm going for tests. So went for tests. And next thing you know is like, I haven't got a brain tumor. It's worse. Got motor neuron disease. So at the time, it was my best mate. He was 30, like young 30s, and he'd been diagnosed with motor neuron disease. So people who don't know what motor neuron disease is basically it stops your brain sending signals to your muscles, and you basically become locked in. So your brain's completely fine, like you can like you're completely there, but your body just stops working.
Is it? Your muscles start wasting away, don't they? Is that?
Yeah.
So
your muscles start wasting away. So he was like, well, obviously it was like a bombshell hit, right? So gutted, absolutely devastated.
No way.
So I was like, so he was like, Rob, listen, can you do me a favor? Right, I still want to go to the gym because I need to work on my muscles. So can you take me to the gym? I was like, yeah, mate, of course I can take you to the gym. No problem. Like, I'll take you to the gym. It's like, Rob, can you take me to the gym? Then like, can you shower me and take me home? I was like, yeah, listen, mate, no problem. I can do that. Then he was like, Rob, can you take me to the gym, shower me, take me home, and then cook me some food and feed me?
Yeah.
And at the time, I had my own business. So I was running my own business. I was like a self-employed personal trainer. And then I'm like helping my mate out. So I'm going down the road. And then next thing you know, he's like, Rob, I need to go to the toilet. Can you like wipe my ass? Like,
yeah,
I can't do it. And so I was like, yeah, no worries. And then before you know it, it's like, Rob, basically you're now my carer. You might as well become my carer. So I'm like, okay, listen, of course I can. Like, I would do anything for you. He's like my hero, my mentor. So I was running my own business, looking after my like really good mate who's now become terminally ill. He's struggling to talk. He's in a wheelchair. He's wheelchair bound. I'm taking him away for weekends. And then the next bombshell hit, which was, listen, my mum is being diagnosed with breast cancer, stage 3. So she's got to have chemo, radiotherapy. It's spread to her lymph. Like, she's got to have a mastectomy. So there I was, like my mum's ill, my best mate's ill, so I'm looking after my mum. I'm helping my clients. I'm helping, and everyone was like, "Rob, you all right? How you must be struggling to cope." And I was like, "I'm absolutely fine. I'm a warrior. I'm Rob Blackburn. I'm a warrior." Right? That was me. So there I'm carrying on. I'm carrying on again. I'm going 100 miles an hour. I've now got to go to my best mates. I'm put him to bed. I have to go to put him to bed. Then I come home. My mum's like ill, struggling, chemo, radio, helping her out, helping clients out. Some they're telling me about their problems. So I'm like taking it all on, and everyone was like, "Rob, right, you need to slow down, or you need to like listen. Don't worry about me. I'm a warrior. I'm Rob Blackburn. I can handle it." I was like, "Don't worry, I can handle it. I'm fine. I'm a warrior." My bulletproof mindset. That was me, right? So then, like, things were getting on top of me. So I was like, "Joe, what? I need to go away for a weekend." So I said, "Right, I'm going to go away for a weekend." I had tickets. I used to get free tickets to Man United and stuff. So I said to my girlfriend at the time, "Right, I'm going to go to Manchester. I got tickets to Man United," because she constantly said she wanted to go. "Why do I take my mates?" And I'm like, "You don't like football?" Obviously. So right, we're going to go to Manchester. I've booked a really nice like apartment up there. We can have a nice time. And on the way back, we'll go to Alton Towers. I was like, right, I just need to have some fun. I literally need to get away for a weekend. And I need to like take my mind off all the things that are going on.
Yeah.
So I said, "Listen, we're going away. We're doing this." And she said, "Why the would I want to go to watch Man United? Why would I want to go to Alton Towers? Alton Towers for kids. I need to go shopping for my mum's birthday present." And then it was a Friday afternoon. If everyone goes up north on a Friday afternoon, it is gridlocked. You're in there for like 5-6 hours. So she refused to talk to me in the car all the way up there. And my mind is like whirring. It's literally
overdrive.
It's gone. Like, think of the thing going 100 miles an hour. I'm flickering. I've got all these thoughts. We got to this hotel room and she said something. And that was the point where, do you know what? It was like, you know, like an elastic band, and you can only pull it so far before the tension, bang,
boom,
snap, and I was gone. So I was literally in this hotel room, and I was crying my eyes out for hours. I was literally gone. Like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it now. Like, literally, I can feel it coming in. And she was like, "Do I need to call an ambulance?" Like, I was crying. Like, I was gone, literally gone. I literally broke. I literally had a breakdown in that room, right? And it was though that was like I wanted the floor to like swallow me up, because that was it. I was done. But I was like, all the things that I've been telling everyone, like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm warrior. The thoughts that were coming in were like, how can I tell everyone that I'm struggling if my best mate's ill, can't even like wipe his own bum, and my mum's like, look, it's still, she's going through chemo, radiotherapy, but she's hiding it from her mum and dad to still look after them, which is like a proper warrior. I'm like, how can I say that I'm struggling if they're going through that? That was my thoughts. It was a massive assumption that was making. Huge assumption. But then, as I always say, like, my biggest breakdown, like, I had a massive breakdown, but my biggest breakdown was my biggest breakthrough. Like, you know, like most people say, like, it's adversity. You go through that point and you have to hit rock bottom to like build yourself back up. So from that, I was like, right, what the hell's going on? And that was my journey from building up to like, right, I'm going to learn everything I can about mindset. I'm going to learn everything about the way you think and feel. And then I'm going to go to do qualifications. So I started doing NLP, master's NLP, learning cognitive behavioral therapy, learning, reading book after book after book, and then asking people and helping them with their problems. Like I'm going to stop you getting to the point that I was at, because I was full of shit. I was full of shit. I had a massive ego. My ego was massive, which was, listen, you can't be vulnerable. The thoughts were, how can I be vulnerable and open myself up when I'm a coach? I'm a coach. I'm supposed to show everyone the way forward. I'm not supposed to be showing weakness. I can't go, "Oh, I'm struggling," and talk about my problems. And it was a massive learning curve for me. So from there, I kind of built myself up. So I went through the journey from personal training, and I started working for football club. I worked in a football club, one of my really good mates. So I helped again. He was like, "Right, you can bring value to Wycombe Wanderers. Like, come into Wycombe. I want you to come into Wycombe and like help Wycombe. Like, you're going to come in as this point." And then I started talking to the players, building up rapport with the players, and before you know it, like I've become this coach for footballers. Like they're starting talking to me, like because they trust. I've been in that environment.
Yeah.
Like they trust you. You're opening up on their level. You play football too. So then that was my journey. It was like, right, help one footballer, and then from there it's gone just to where I am now, which is helping pro footballers, because I realized that they're struggling with all the things that I went through.
Yeah. So you never intended to start helping football? Is it just it just arrived to you?
Yeah.
Just turned up on your door and like.
Yeah. Didn't have that. It was, first of all, it was a trainer, but always interested in the mindset side. It was the mindset side, and like football, like you like people who are like you, right?
Yeah.
So like I like to have a laugh. I like to have a joke. I like the dressing room, like the best football club I've ever been at. We won everything. It was because of our dressing room. So you can be yourself. You can be completely open. You can be yourself, like, because you like people like you. When I was working with business people, and again, it was full of ego. It was business in London. It was like, right, I'm going to make money. I want to make money. I'm like, well, I want to make money for my family. I'm like, you're going to make a massive mistake here, mate. Like, I don't think you don't realize. And it was like, oh, how much money can I make? Again, all ego driven. And I'm like, listen, you're going to go make money, but all your family want, all your missus wants, and your kids want is your time.
Yeah.
Like, not money. Like, you think it's to provide for family. You're going to end up making all this money for your wife to then leave you, and you give half of it to your missus because you're not in balance. Like, so I was like, I just got, and then because I helped one, as you know, it's in football, right? You build, like, football's a very internal game, right? You help one player and you've massively helped them. Then they talk. Yeah. Listen, speak to my mate, Rob. Rob will help you. You help them, speak to my mate, Rob. Rob will help you. And I'm like, so now I ended up helping all these footballers in the background. And I was like, right, there's this big problem in football. There's this massive problem in football that no one's talking about. Like, as I said, you've got all these players who are adored every week in front of thousands of fans, but behind the scenes, they're falling apart. They're really struggling, and no one knows. No one knows. How can I bring this, like, to a bigger audience? How can I get people talking? And that was like, right, I'm going to start the players that I help. I'm going to start a podcast. That was my idea. I'm going to start a podcast and get the players that I help on a podcast to talk. Yeah. So people can see that players are human. They struggle with the same problems that every other normal people in general. Doesn't matter who you are, footballer, build. It doesn't matter. It's, at the end of the day, a footballer is a job. It's your job. That's it. Doesn't matter what it is. It's a job. We're human beings. We all struggle with the same problems, but footballers are struggling with. Listen, if you a normal person listening to it, not a normal person, but if you got a 9 to 5, you go to work, you might have a shitty day, right? You might have a crappy day, and then you go and have a drink afterwards. You'll have a drink. You'll go out on a night out. And it's completely fine. You de-stress, you deload. As a footballer, guess what happens? You have a bad day, and you've got 100 people on Twitter hammering you, telling you that you're shit, you're useless. Why are you in the team? You're terrible. You go, do you know what? I'm going to deload. Yeah. I'm going to go for a night out. And guess what? You got people hammering you for going out. Like, sometimes, even if you do go out, you'll get hammered. People want to trigger you to get a reaction out of you. So do you know what you do? You have to deal with, you're literally taking on all this stuff, but where someone else can just do the normal stuff, which is have a drink or go out, a player can't. You've got to rest and recover. But what you do, you start searching for it. You're in a negative mind space. What we do, you know what we do in a negative mind space? We look for all the negative comments on Twitter. We tweet. Yeah. Footballers tweet, look at the Twitter, and they go through. It doesn't matter, like, oh, he's really good. He's really good. You're looking for that one negative comment. Yeah. And you're searching for it. Chris is laughing because he's probably done it.
Is that why you're not on Twitter? That's why you're not on Twitter.
What? That's why I got rid of Twitter, mate. That's why I got rid of Twitter.
Yeah.
And I've never looked back since then.
Yeah, like, I'd have a player message me. I remember I'm in Marbella, right? I'm in Marbella in a drink, and I'm getting message from a player. He's like, I'm really struggling, mate. Like, I need to speak to you. I know you're away on holiday, but can you help me? I'm like, yeah, cool. Yeah. He's like, I'm getting abused on Twitter I'm getting hell on Twitter. I'm like, listen, go back a message. Everyone's abusing. Like, so people use, when you're in a negative space, you use generalizations. Everyone's abusing me.
Yeah.
And nothing's going right. Everything's going wrong. I'm like, you go to the full extreme. I'm like, well, let's bring it back. Everyone's abusing you. Is it just one person? One person's abusing you on Twitter. Not everyone. Let's take it back. Let's bring it back. So I'm like, everyone's abusing Twitter. Is that true? Is that actually true? Is it one person? Go back to him with kindness. Instead of like meet and fire a fight, I go with, listen, mate, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like, if you like, I've been at the club so many years. If you want to come and speak to me, come and say hi at the football club. We can talk about it and we can meet in person. And then, do you know what most people do? They go, sorry, mate, didn't know you was going to reply. I was just having a really bad day. Well, like, it's hard. Yeah, so I didn't mean to get into football. It's just that I like football.
With the podcast, it's a Footballer's Mindset podcast.
The Footballer's Mindset podcast, yeah.
Is where can the viewers and listeners find that?
Same as you, mate. Any iTunes, Spotify, you can find it on anywhere. So as I said, I bring players on. So sometimes I do my own one where I like to teach in and give advice, and then I bring players on where they talk about the things that they're struggling with, and people are like, "How do you get players to be so honest and open? Like, why do they just open up to you?" I'm like, "Well, I'm honest and open." So to get vulnerability, you have to be vulnerable first, right?
Yeah.
You have to be vulnerable. You can't just go, tell me your story. Like, you've got to open up and be vulnerable. You have to show vulnerability. It's paradoxical. Like, I'm like, you want to become a leader, right? If you want to become a leader, guess what? You have to open up your communication. You have to show that you're struggling. People like, if you put yourself out on the perils, this is what I used to notice with personal trainers. They'd be like, beast mode, broccoli and chicken. No one's going to relate to you, mate, because they're like, well, he's not like me. Like, he's intimidating. Like, no one's, what you have to realize, no one's got their shit sorted. No one's got their shit sorted. Everyone's struggling. Like I'm struggling. Like now, I said about my mum.
Yeah.
Like now, 10 years down the line, like 2 months ago, she was like getting out of breath. She's now been diagnosed with terminal cancer. So she's got the breast cancer come back. So now it's in her lung, it's in her bones, it's in her abdomen, and she's struggling to like breathe. And she's in a pretty bad way, right?
Yeah.
Like she's in a pretty bad way. So we're all like going through things constantly. Like now, I've just got the ability to open up and say, listen, I'm not okay about it. It's hard.
Yeah.
Like, people go, now, how are you? Instead of going, I'm a warrior. I'm like, it's hard.
Yeah, I'm
like,
fucked. Yeah.
My missus lives in Liverpool. I live in London. At one point, I didn't see, like, my mum's been diagnosed. I couldn't see her because of coronavirus.
Yeah.
So where most people can have a cuddle, I can't.
Yeah.
And so things are tough. And people, like, some people will go, how are you, mate? Like, I remember not long ago I was in David Lloyd, and people listen to the podcast and people know who I am, etc. So one bloke I speak to was like, how are you, mate? He was like, I went, I'm not bad. I'm okay. And he was like, you're not great? I was like, no, mate.
Yeah.
I'm not great.
Yeah.
He was like, because most people expect, yeah, mate, I'm fine. I'm like, I'm going to be completely honest, and I'm not fine. Like, he's like, well, what's wrong? So I went, do you know what? I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So this has happened. My mum's been diagnosed with this. Like, my missus is this far away. This stuff's happening. And he was like, wow. And then he started opening up about his own stuff. And then he was like, oh, do you know what? I'm going to go away and listen to your podcast now.
Yeah, it's like a knock-on effect, isn't it? It's like...
And then since then, he's coming to me and I'm like, well, if I had just said, yeah, mate, I'm fine, I'd have been full of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not willing to be full of shit anymore. Like, if I'm struggling. And again, problem with men, more men, is we're not willing to be vulnerable. We think it's weak, when actually the opposite's true.
Yeah.
it's the more vulnerable you are, the more you're seen as a leader. Every time I go into a presentation or I do a presentation, I open up and I said I cried for 4 hours, which I did, and I was struggling, and I was in these invisible handcuffs. So basically, I showed a picture of Superman. I was like, this was me. I thought I was Superman, but I was in these handcuffs.
Yeah.
And at any time, I could literally go. I didn't. But these handcuffs were on my brain. These handcuffs were stopping me from speaking. I was in this, I'd imprisoned myself, and I had the keys to let myself out at any time, but I didn't.
Yeah. Do you find helping other people helps you?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I find, like, when I obviously started with Men United, and I was helping guys basically with prevention of suicide. Like, I'd get messages saying that they won't kill themselves, then we'd be talking, then they'd ring me, and then the next day they'd be like, I can't believe how good I'm feeling. And it just makes you feel like it's a sense of pride, isn't it? If you've helped someone, it's a sense of pride. And I think we need more people like ourselves. You know, I'm not saying like we're the gods, but we need more people like us out there.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, people don't realize, like, for example, when I do a presentation or I do a talk or I help a football team or I help footballers individually, like, obviously you get something from it too. You have to.
Yeah.
Right? You have to. I'm like, thanks for that. And they're like, you just helped me. No, you've helped me too.
Yeah.
Like, you've helped me learn. I'm learning. So I'm helping, like, by helping you, I'm learning by me. I'm making myself better. I'm talking to you. It's a bit of therapy rather than before. I wouldn't have never said anything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're helping me. By helping you, you're helping me. Like, when I do my podcast, I go out on my podcast and do my podcast and talk about how I'm feeling, and we have an open conversation like we're having now.
Yeah.
Like, that helps me.
Oh, big time.
Helps me feel better rather than it's a therapy kind of thing. It's a little bit of therapy rather than shutting down and putting that brick wall up. Just a brick wall. Like, that's it.
Yeah. It's like last night. I felt like crap. Not like I was feeling a bit flued up. So, but around about this time of the year, I always get like sinus issues, like really bad sinuses. So I went bed early, but I woke up about a couple of hours later, and I was in like a bit of a anxiety attack because my nose was streaming, and with everything going on, I was like, I've got COVID. Like, my head was like, you've got COVID.
Yeah.
You've got COVID-19. You're going to pass it on to all your family. I'm like, But then I've always said during this time, everyone should know the body. I know my own body. Like, if I've got a cold or if I've got a bit of a flu, I know it's nothing bad. I'll always notice a little change in my body. That's when I'll know something's a bit different with me. But last night, I couldn't get it out of my head. Like, this guy in here was like, you've got COVID-19. And I tried to block it out. But the more I tried to block it out, the more it got worse. So I woke the wife up and I was like, I need you to do a COVID test. How'd you do him? Because she has to do him like once a week with the job she does. So we went downstairs, did this COVID test, which I didn't like. I was like up my nose. And then I was there then, and because it's one of them fast ones, so like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, lateral flow test. Yeah, you get them in Liverpool. That's the good thing. When I go to Liverpool, I can literally go down the park, have a test, and it's 15 minutes.
Yeah, and say I was 5 minutes. I tell you, it felt like an hour. I was waiting for this, and she was like, "Well, if it's one line there, you know, it's negative. If it's 2 lines, like it's positive." I was like, "Oh," and that in my eyes, I was seeing 2. In my head, I was seeing 2 lines all the time. I was like, whoa, and then 1 line come up, and that was it. I was like, So from that one action and me just getting up and doing the thing and like proving myself wrong, I was able to just relax, and that anxiety attack just went.
Yeah, so the saying is like, what you think about expands.
Yeah.
What you think about expands. Like I was doing, I'm not going to say that. I was doing West Ham Women the other day. I can't say that again. I was doing a presentation for West Ham Women.
You were doing West Ham Women, okay?
Yeah. And one of the girls come on and said, she was a goalkeeper, and I constantly think about, don't make a mistake. I'm like, well, you're going to make more mistakes because what you're thinking about expands. If you don't think about mistakes, what you can think about is mistakes.
Yeah.
It expands and it takes up your whole mind. It's like, again, question it. Like the simple process I put in place is literally, most people, it's simple. It's what we start off with at the start. When I start coaching anyone, I'm like, right, listen to this audiobook. It will change your life. Loving What Is by Byron Katie. And it's literally simple. It's just simplified. Most people want to make things complicated.
Yeah.
Simplify things as much as you can. You're having a thought. Is it true? I've got COVID-19. Is it true? What evidence have you got? Like, what evidence have you got? Yeah. What is it actually true? Is it true? Yeah. This is happening. Is it true? I'm going to make a mistake. Is it true? Is it always true? Is it true? Because when we go to, if you think about it, your thoughts are an illusion. They're an illusion.
Yeah.
They're not real. They're trying to trick you. Your brain is constantly trying to keep you safe. Like, as I say to everyone, we're brand shiny new iPhones, right? We're shiny new iPhone 12 Pro Maxes with the software from millions and millions of years ago. Yes.
Oh, what have you done there, bro?
Apart from Chris's phone. All right, we're iPhone, the original iPhones. With loads of cracks in our screen. But we don't know how to override it. So the same thing is we could be eaten by a saber-toothed tiger, and the emotions that we feel are the same things as in someone's talking about me behind my back. We still feel the same anxiety. Or COVID-19. I might have COVID-19. Bang, heart's pumping, sweating. Is it true? Is it actually true? Is your brain just trying to keep you safe? Let's put it back. Let's put it back to, let's stay, like the whole point of what I help footballers, let's stay present let's stay more present. You're going into the past. This shouldn't have happened. And I was like, listen, the clue's in the language. Listen to your language. Should. If someone's shoulding all over the place, you need to put them shoulds up and wrap them in a little bag and then put them in the bin, because shoulds are not real. You should have saved it. Well, as a goalkeeper, you should have saved it. You should have made a mistake. Is that true? Is it true? The evidence is didn't happen, did it?
Yeah.
Shouldn't have dropped the pen.
Yeah.
Well, the pen's already dropped. You can argue with it as much as you want with me. The pen's already on the floor. Like, it's all based around perception. If we listen to language is the big giveaway. So, for example, everything. Like, I noticed, Danny, you said everything. Like, the generalizations, you went into that state, the state of anxiety, your language changed.
Yeah.
Language changes. Anxiety, which is, I'm thinking into the future. Your brain, as I say, listen, you can't control your brain. Your brain's going to just run haywire. People are like, I can't switch off again. I'm like, well, that's an assumption that you're making.
Yeah.
Your brain doesn't switch off.
No.
Does it? Like, even when you're asleep, you're dreaming. So you can't switch off your brain. You
just switch off your brain, you're dead, aren't you?
You have to. So, like, for example, when you're going into an anxious state, you have to change your focus.
Yeah.
You can't switch off. You can only switch on to something else.
Yeah.
We have to change our focus. We change what we focus on. Bring it back. Is it true? Is it true? Is it true? Whatever you're going through, whatever you're thinking, it's never true because you're thinking into the future. So it can't be true. It can't be true until you've actually got physical evidence of it.
Yeah. So my overthinking always comes at night, and that's why I've adapted myself to go to bed with my headphones on with a podcast.
Nice. Yeah, it's changing your focus.
Yeah, and I'll just fall asleep, and then I'll wake up in the morning with like headphones, and I'm like, and the wife's like, "You're going to die one day with them round your neck." I'm like, "Oh, don't say that."
Yeah, like it's mad the way when you learn how the brain works, like, and it's constantly trying to keep you safe. Like, it's catastrophizing. Like, going to worst case scenario, the brain goes worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Worst. But then if you take it all the way to worst case scenario, go, what is actually the worst case scenario? Okay, you've got COVID-19. What's the worst case scenario?
You're just in bed all day, aren't you? You die.
But if you go logical, instead of going emotional, go in like logical stats. Yeah. Let's go factual. Let's go, okay, from you being healthy. there's been 400 people or 300 and whatever people die from it. That's healthy. Like if you go statistically, let's go statistics. Let's go factual rather than emotional. Let's take emotion out of it and go statistics.
Yeah.
You're more than likely to drop dead by a coconut falling in your head.
Yeah.
It's true.
You ain't around any coconuts, but you're more statistically likely to be killed by that rather than that. Let's go. Let's take remember, because we feel an emotion, we make decisions based on emotion.
Yeah.
We go emotional. Let's go. We like to think we're logical creatures, but we're not.
No way. No.
We are emotional creatures basing our decisions, and we base that with logic. Yeah. So, for example, I feel like, and people, you hear the language. As I said, I listen, I watch. That's how I know how to make changes with people, because I'm watching all the time.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like a glass of wine tonight. Emotional decision. Feel like a glass of wine because they create their story.
Yeah.
I've had a bad day.
Bad day. Yeah. So
I need to unwind. That's the logical reason, but it's not. It's an emotional decision based on, and then they've created a logical decision. It's not like, let's go. I don't feel like exercising today because story. So when I listen to language, or they hear the but, you go, I would do this, but, and then they hear the story, and then I go, well, is that true? Is that actually, let's bring it. Like, people, like, you listen. When you're listening and watching, you can make small changes. People catastrophize. We have 55 to 80,000 thoughts a day. If we go, that works out to 55 thoughts a minute. 3/4 of them are negative.
Yeah.
That's a stat. 3/4 of our thoughts are negative, right? Why? To keep us safe. It's, again, people who have damaged the amygdala in the brain, okay, which is the fear bit, which you take fear out, you die very quickly.
You would?
You die. Yeah, you die. So that's to protect you. Fear's to protect you. So it's like, okay, looking for dangers. As I say to people, like, you don't realize that the subconscious is working away in the background. Our conscious mind is only so big. Like, if we looked at the screen now, it's the tiny little bit in the corner, but our subconscious is constantly working away. Like, for example, if you ever walked into Tesco's, and you gone, fuck, I'm in here for?
Yeah. Yeah.
I went to come into something. What?
Yeah.
What am I coming for?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's literally, I come in here for something and it's gone. It's literally just fucked off out your head. The reason why, your brain, the subconscious brain, you've gone into a new environment. It's looking for dangers. It's looking for, what's the threats here? So it deletes that information. We delete that. We don't need that at the moment. The new information we take in is, where's a saber-toothed tiger that can kill you? So the brain, when you realize how the brain works, like, it deletes information. People go, well, you wasn't listening. I'm like, well, and you're like, where's that information gone?
Yeah.
I was listening.
Happens all the time to me. Happens all the time.
Gone.
Yeah.
When I go to the kitchen.
Yeah, because you're in a new environment. You walk from the living room to the kitchen. It's a new environment. Your brain's subconsciously scanning for dangers. Is that information's just gone? I don't need that information. Get rid of that. Right,
what dangers have you got in your kitchen, Monty?
I open the fridge and I'm like, what did I open a fridge for?
Food, chocolate.
I don't want food. I don't want chocolate.
Cake, chocolate and cake.
It's that, like, I find it so interesting. As I said, I could literally talk, and I do talk all day about the way the brain works and the assumptions that we're making. Yeah. So, like, why do we do what we do? Why do we do this? Why do we make these decisions? Why do we think like that? Like, so what I do is I teach people the way the brain works.
Yeah.
So, like, a footballer on the pitch, again, as I say, most football's based around fear. Fear of, as I said, not getting a new contract. Fear of getting criticised. Fear of not playing. Like, fear is everywhere. Like, everywhere. Well, we like to say, like, I like the question that Monty asked at the start. It was like, was you nervous? And you were like, like, was it fear? Was it fear-based? Was it fear there? And you kind of skated around it. I was watching and listening.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of fear.
You know what?
You know, because at the end of the day, we're doing this and we want to get is to get out there. We want to get the message and awareness out there about obviously like yourself and that all the other guests that we've on. We want to get it out there. We want to be successful. And I think the fear of failure is always in me. Always in me.
Always. So you notice the language.
I would say one thing, like, you know, like the way Dan just said that.
Yeah.
And obviously I've been doing a lot, you know, Rob, like from when I spoke to you.
Yeah.
Like I've obviously had a coach myself, really, like going up to like 2.5, 3 years now. And that used to be also my problem. So like now,
yeah,
I actually look forward to failure to an extent.
You do?
What I've learned is, and obviously you've gone about the language and how we speak, or how I speak to myself about myself.
Yeah.
And before it was like, if I make a mistake, or if we lose, or if I lose the ball, then I've changed everything, like, to basically, I don't lose, I either win or learn.
Nice.
So basically, if I make a bad pass, for example, in a game, I've not done it on purpose. I've not gone out there to make that pass on purpose. So I'm trying to basically penetrate that through ball, or get that cross, or get that shot. So if I'm intercepting someone's pass, that don't mean they gave me the ball on purpose. I was in the right position. I'm trying to stop them from attacking as well.
Yeah.
How I see things nowadays. So, and it allows me to sort of grow into games. Well, before it was, if I made that bad pass, I don't want the ball again. What are the fans thinking about me? What's the manager thinking, my teammates? Now it's like, if I make a bad pass, it's happened.
Yeah.
I now need the ball again. I'm going to carry on. I'm going to try. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to grow from this.
Yeah.
And if I do carry on making mistakes, then what I say to myself, well, it's not my day on the ball. I'm going to work as hard as I can and run as hard and as fast as I can. After the game, I'll analyze my performance. Why did things go wrong?
Yeah.
What was my mindset like? What was I thinking on? Like, what was going on? And then I sit back and sort of like reflect my performances. But since I've been actually doing what I'm doing, I don't think I can say, obviously, you do have bad moments and spells in games. Obviously, we're not perfect.
No.
Human beings. And I've actually enjoyed my football more recently, especially this season. I know things ain't gone as well collectively. Personally, I feel like I've performed consistently, to make sense. And that's about being looking and accepting my mistakes and learning from them. And if something goes wrong in a game, I've not just shut away from it and shied away from it. I've like grown with it. And like the podcast thing, what Dan was saying, like, I used to think like that. Oh my God, what about if people don't like this? What about if they don't like that? But end of the day, we're doing it for a good cause to start with. If people don't like it, it's not our fault. It's not our fault. We're trying to like grow and help people understand the problems that we all experience. Like you, like yourself, Rob, you're a high performance mindset coach, and you've opened up and spoke about your struggles. Like a lot of people will see your social media and think like, this guy has got no problems. He will never experience anything because he's a mindset coach. But you've opened up, and actually, you by doing that would give different views on, we are human beings anyway.
Yeah.
And by what we do, we're all going to suffer, and we're all going to learn from our mistakes. You learn from your massive breakdown.
Yeah.
That was your biggest breakthrough.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah.
The same thing myself, and it's just about understanding that mistakes ain't there to actually break us, they're to help us grow.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I agree. Fully agree with you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree as well.
Yeah.
Like what you said there, like failure is just, if you take away failure and you cross it out and you put learning, like what you're doing, you're actually learning. Like what is failure? It's just, again, it's perceived. It's perceived failure. It's not a real failure, is it really? Like I've failed so many times, and I'm willing to fail again and keep failing because I'll learn and I'll get better. It's like you think of stocks and shares, right? They don't go, we expect straight line success. That's our perception. We expect, like, for example, when I did weight loss, we expect it to go straight down like that, rather than it goes like this. Because you go there and you learn. That could be seen as a failure, or that's a learning. Okay, well, maybe I had too much chocolate, maybe I had too much wine that weekend. Learning, let's get there. Cool, we're going down next week. What happened here? Or maybe my recovery wasn't on point. Well, I didn't have pizza at the weekend. Learning there. It's the same as stocks and shares. It goes like this. It doesn't go just in one straight line. It goes in here. So again, they could be seen as failures. What is failure? What is failure? Like, for example, one of my really good mates, Blooms, so Matt Bloomfield, missed a penalty at Wembley in the playoff final. And I was like, okay, that is seen as failure. It's one of the biggest failures you can have. I'm like, so I'll ask him a question, and he talks about this on my podcast. I'm like, how was that good for you?
Yeah.
What happened from that? That was good. He was like, okay, well, I realized everyone was supportive towards me. Like, everyone was there for me in my local community. And from there, the perceived failure. So, okay, that year they didn't get promoted, but the next year they got promoted and then promoted again. Say, I'm like, well, if you didn't miss that penalty, then maybe you wouldn't have been promoted to the championship.
Yeah.
So that failure has actually driven you on. Maybe you've gone, okay, my leadership skills as captain of Wycombe Wanderers have gone up. And that's influenced the players to get to here. And then you've passed on some of the players to me. So from that potential failure, right, if you could, then I asked the question, if you could go back to that, right, we're back at that penalty at Wembley. You could score or you miss. What do you want to do? He's like, I'll miss. I'll miss that penalty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, from the knock-on events of what happened. Yeah. So from the events that happened, again, you take away all the events. You can go back to that penalty, and all the events that happened due to that penalty miss get deleted. Yeah. You have to start again. So now you can either go back and miss that penalty or score that penalty. What do you do? And he says, I'll miss it.
Wow.
I'll miss that penalty because guess what? He wouldn't have learned along the way. He wouldn't have learned. Now he's playing in the championship for the first time in his career. Wycombe got promoted for the highest ever level.
Yeah.
If you'd have missed that penalty or scored that penalty, would that have happened?
Who knows? No, don't know.
So that failure was it a blessing in disguise? My failure of having a breakdown, was that actually a win?
Yeah.
If I turn it around, was it a win? Like, what is failure? Like, I'm looking, like, I say to people, like, as a coach, I'm like, listen, you have to put yourself out your perceived, and I use the word perceived, comfort zone. It's an imaginary place in your head. Overwhelming, it's an imaginary place in our head. It's not real. It's created. You create it. Depression, you create it. Anxiety, you create it. You create it in your brain.
Yeah.
It's created state. You've created anxiety. You don't just catch it. You can't catch it. You create it by your thinking. How can we change your thinking? So I'm like, how do we change that? Like, for example, as I said, like, I look to do things that scare me. Like, I'm constantly scared. I'm constantly shit scared.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah,
like, I've got to move to, looks like I'm moving to Liverpool. I've got a business here. I've got a business, like, people see the mindset stuff, but I've got another business. I've got a business based where I live, right? Like, that goes away. I'm moving all my friends. I'm suddenly becoming like a proper father overnight to my stepson. Like, I'm going to be there all the time. I'm moving from everything I don't know. I am shitting myself. Shitting myself.
Yeah.
There's fear is always there, but it's like, okay, like, I've got to understand that fear. Like, a couple of years, I always try and do something for charity every year. I'm like, I'll do something for charity for good. A couple of years ago, I did a boxing match. Like, and I was like, right, I want to do a boxing match. And I was like, sign up for it. It was like, then the stories come in. What if you get knocked out in front of your fiance and your friends? What if, like, you get absolutely smashed to pieces? Everyone's going to be recording it. Like, what happens if you're on the floor? Like, you get absolutely beaten up. Everyone's recording it. Do you know what? The fear's there. Right, I've got to do it. I'm going to face the fear. Like, bang, signed up. Right, I've got to do it now. Like, I'm a coach, and I'm telling everyone, listen. Like, you got to look for uncomfortable situations so you can grow. So I, like, did the boxing match. Did that. Next thing you know, what am I doing this year? So in June this year, I went to do Penny Fan. So I signed up for an event where it's 45 miles, £50 backpack over a mountain, up and down. So you do it at 7 o'clock in the morning, then at midnight at 7 o'clock in the morning. Massive challenge. And then it got cancelled. So I was like, right, next week I'm doing 2 marathons in 2 days with a £50 backpack cross country.
Wow.
Everyone was like, "We'll come out to support you." I'm like, the fear's there. What if I fail? What if I don't do it? What happens if like I cramp up? I do one marathon, like with a 50-pound. One marathon's hard enough, but with a 50-pound backpack on cross country, right? My body could fall apart. I don't know how I'm going to react. Everyone's there supporting me. All these people I've been sponsored $6,000 in a week. What if I let all these people down? Shit scared. Shit scared. But like, you got to do it. You got to face fear. There's no courage without fear. So it's like courageous. Again, a few weeks ago, I sign up, like I practice what I preach. So I'm in a mindset group. I've got 2 coaches. So I have 2 coaches, and they said, we're going to Shrewsbury, turn up at 7 o'clock. We're going to Breakpoint. So Breakpoint is Ollie Ollerton, who does SAS Who Dares Wins. You're there from 7 o'clock in the morning, bring your outdoor gear, and then you've got a mission to do. So I said, I'm going to be the leader. I'm going to be the leader of this group. I'll start off. I want to test my leadership skills. This is a test of everything that I've learned. So as I went to the toilet, they've made a decision. Again, I could go, right, they've made a decision. So if you get kidnapped, right, and ambushed, what's your cover story? So I've come back and I went, the cover story is we're at a BMX bike club, we meet up here, and I went, I'm going to overrule you on this, right? You've chosen me as the leader. That's courage. Didn't mean I weren't scared. I'm in this new group, right? And I'm telling them that I'm going, I don't think that's the right decision. I think we've made the wrong decision there. Because if we do get kidnapped, like I'm asking you questions now and you can't even get your story right. So we're going to stick to as close to the original story as we can. We're here for a mindset group. We're online. We meet up in a mindset group. We stick to the original story. Are you going to who's coming with me? And everyone went, do you know what? I agree. But the fear was there. And then suddenly, next thing you know, we're in a mission. They've gone, we had these guns. We had to storm this building. And then they went, put your guns down. We've been spotted. Run. The next thing you know, all these flashbangs have come out. These grenades have come out, and these dogs have run out at us. And they're gone, get down. And you go down on the floor. Someone's got their foot on your head, and you've got this dog barking in your face. And then they've blindfolded you, and basically you're blindfolded. All these dogs are barking at you, and the fear's real, right? Your brain, remember, you're in a kind of safe place because these dogs barking with you. And I was like, Jesus Christ. I started laughing, right? I'm blindfolded. I've got dogs barking at me and I'm kind of having a little bit of a laugh. I'm like, here we go, right? So I'm kind of smiling to myself. What the fuck are you smiling at? Who do you think you are? do you think you're funny, do you? You think you're a funny guy? Like, we're going to take the funniness out of you straight away. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'm ready for this. I knew he was going to get kidnapped. I've got a 50 pound. I again agreed to carry the backpack, a 50-pound backpack, because I'd done that event, and hands are on my back. So they're pushing my back, like they've put us in this position where all in one in front of the other, hands on each other's back, and they're pulling my back down. I've taken all my clothes off. I'm freezing and my back is killing me. I'm like, it's got very real very quickly. Hands on your head, you're blindfolded, right? You're going to go get interrogated. So I'm sitting in it. It's 1 degree. I've got like this skinny t-shirt on, no gloves, no hat. And I'm in this torture position. Like, you've seen the stress positions that they put you in the program.
Yeah.
And you're getting interrogated. And I'm like, I'm going to freeze to death. I've got to stick to my story, and they're questioning me, and I'm the leader of this group now. Like, again, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I say the wrong thing to the interrogators? Like, we're going to get busted. Like, and they were like, oh, so who's got the map? And I'm like, they're like, what map? And I'm like, listen, we used our phones. They're like, oh, you got phones, have you? And I'm like, fuck, was that the wrong decision? I told them we got phones. Like, you got mobile phones? I'm like, yeah. Listen. And I'm like, well, of course, obvious. If we didn't have everyone's got a mobile phone on them. Of course they're going to have mobile phones. That'd be stupid. Like, and you're questioning your decisions.
Yeah.
Then they've put us in stress positions again, and then they've thrown us into a back of a van, still blindfolded. Half an hour drive, they've pulled us out. They've got we're up against the wall, right? So we're spread, legs spread, up against the wall. It's pitch black, and they're like, and I'm shaking. I am shaking. It's got real quickly. I am freezing. I am literally frozen cold, right? And they're like, right, if you don't tell us that you're military right now, one of you's going to get executed. You're going to die. One of you's going to die. We've got a gun to one of you. You've got a gun to your head. One of you's going to get taken out right now. Literally, you don't know who's got the gun pointed at your head. You are going to die. We're going to execute you one right now, unless you tell us that one of you are military right now. So I'm shaking. My hands got up. I'm like, look, we're military. I'm like, we're military. We're military. Like, and they're like, pull me away. They've taken me away, and they've gone to other people. You military? They're like, no, we're not military. And it's gone to you. You're military. I'm like, yes, we're military. I've made the decision. I'm shit scared.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, you're freezing. You don't know how long it's lasting for. You don't know how long you're going on for. Blindfolded, don't know where you are, freezing cold. Like, you're like, how long's it going on for? And they're like, right, take your blindfolds off. They said that to me, he's just saved your life. If he didn't say right then that you were military, you would have all died. You'd have all died.
Wow.
So like that was a massive test of my leadership skills. That was a test of all the things this decision making under pressure, feeling the fear. The fear is, right? For example, everyone else, no, we're not military. They're not military. It's scared to say something. It's the fear of saying something in case you make the wrong decision.
Yeah.
I'm like, right, I'm the leader of the group. I've got to make the decision. I've got to make this decision. I've got to make the decision that I'm going to tell everyone I'm going to tell them we're SAS. I was scared, shitting myself. Everyone's waiting for everyone else to make the decision, right?
Yeah.
They're all going, who's going to make the decision? But it's putting yourself into that fear, and you're like, right, I've grown from that. I've now grown from that. Like, but I'm constantly scared.
So the SAS Who Dares Wins on Channel 4, I watch every time it's on, I watch it.
Yeah, it's the same people.
Yeah.
Same interrogators as well.
Yeah. And he always
crazy shit.
I always like take a bit of a, not a bet, but like take a guess of who I think's going to go all the way.
Mm-hmm. Nice, yeah.
From like, say like the first couple of episodes, just on judging how they are and like you say, like the language they're using and how like kind of calm they can be in situations, and just by their own body language, more or less, I don't get it right.
Yeah, you see the ones with the strong egos, right? Normally,
yeah.
You see the ones that are fitness trainers.
Yeah.
Again, me in the past. That was me in the past.
Yeah.
Right. That would have been me. I'd been like, oh, I'm fucking gonna smash it.
Yeah.
You have the ego come in, and I'm like, you can tell, like the big built geezers, and when their head, things get into their head, they're like, I'm not the quickest here.
Yeah.
I'm not I thought I'd be the strongest here. Like, and then this person who's literally this, they see it as this skinny little person or this woman's overtaken me.
Yeah.
And then the stories come in, don't they? And then it's the ego gets busted, and it's like, oh wow.
Did you watch the celebrity one?
Yeah, I've watched the celebs one too. Yeah, I love it.
Tony
I've applied for it a few times. Yeah. I applied for the actual program. I haven't got in yet.
Did you see the Tony Barlow boxing when he was?
Yeah.
But yeah. And I thought to myself, oh, he's going to do well here, you know. He's going to do well, but he failed miserably.
Just controlling it. That's what I'm saying. You talk about the control, self-control.
He didn't have no control, mate, at all.
When you've got there and you're just full of ego and pride, and you've got someone that's punching you.
Yeah.
You control yourself, especially him being a boxer, for example.
See, that's why I thought he's going to do well here.
Mm.
And then they put, I think they put everyone up against him.
They did,
remember. And he was getting pounded, and he was getting so angry. You saw it, and he was just swinging and going mad. And he failed.
Come on, me. Come on.
Yeah.
He's
like, fucking come on, fucking hit me. And it didn't work. He didn't control himself.
So, like I always say, right, it's how do we stay calm in chaos? Like when chaos is happening, how do you stay calm? So I've written about this. I've literally just written a book. It's called Your Head in the Game. And I give the example of when I did the boxing. So I did the boxing, and I hired a coach his name's Spencer Oliver. He's a Sky commentator now. So he was a former professional European champion, and he used to spar with him, right?
Yeah.
And his theory was, which is probably a good theory. Oh my God. Like when I say fear, right? Fear, pure fear. I was fighting him and sparring him. And his theory was, if I hit you, when I hit you, no one's going to hit you as hard as I've hit you. So you'd be fine. So I'm going to condition you to get punched in the face hard or in the ribs. He actually done my ribs in. He put me out for 5 weeks where he crunched my ribs, right?
Oh.
And then I used to catch him. If I caught him, he'd come around and bang, and your head, right? When I say, right, I used to spar these people. When I did I'm not bad at boxing, all right? I'm quite good. From goalkeeping reactions, I wait for someone to hit me. I can see it coming a million miles off. I pop it, bang. So we used to get in, when we used to do the training, you used to spar loads of people. And then they said that there was 50 people doing this thing. And I was literally allowed to spar one other person. And they used to bring other people in for me to spar because I used to, I wouldn't even hit them hard. I'd dodge it, bang. And next thing you know, they've got a bleeding nose. I'm like, all these egos again coming in from street fighting, right?
Yeah.
They're like, street fighting. Street fighting is not boxing. Boxing is controlled aggression, control under pressure. It's tactical. It's not swinging fists. So like, I've sparred for quite a while. So you'll see these people trying to swing fists. You're like, when you're under pressure, you don't swing. You don't come out throwing windmills because you get beaten. So my boxing coach used to say, listen, calm under pressure. When the punches are raining in, and it's a metaphor for life, right? You've backed him into the corner. I'm going to back you up into the corner. I'm going to start swinging for you. You're going to cover up. All you're going to do is cover up. And instead of speeding up and throwing windmills, you're going to keep calm. Slow things down. Slow things down. You're going to watch the punches coming in. You're going to slow things down. You're going to slow the punches down your brain, and you're looking for an escape route. Yeah. If you come out swinging, you're fucked. Because I'm just gonna lay one on you, and you're going to be on the floor. So when the punches are coming in, instead of speeding up, you slow down. So it's a metaphor for life. It's when the punches are coming in, how can you slow down? How can you keep calm in chaos? Slow down. Slow your breathing. Everything slows down. It goes in slow motion. You've got to slow it down when the punches are coming in. If you throw windmills, you're screwed. And again, another boxing metaphor. I like boxing. I like taking other sports. It's like, for example, right? You get into the ring, right? You're going to get punched in the face. Like, that's the truth. You're getting punched in the face. Like, you can't go into the ring and you can't go out in the rain and expect not to get wet. Yeah. That's the saying. You can't go out in the rain and expect not to get wet. So if you go into a boxing ring, you can't expect to not get punched in the face. You're going to get punched in the face. Deal with it. Deal with the fear. And it's the same as life. You're going to get punched in the face. Constantly. You're going to get constant. But it's an unmet expectation. We expect not to be punched in the face. When we get punched in the face, we're like, why has this happened to us? Instead of waiting for the punch, I know I'm going to get punched in the face constantly. Right? I'm going to get punched. I'm going to get punched hard. And when he punched me, it hurt. And I used to feel like real anxiety going to sparring, right, with him. The fear was real, right? And I used to get anxiety. Like, I've never really experienced real anxiety, but my heart was like, and I feel sick. And I'm like, because I know I'm going to go into that ring and I'm going to get fucking beaten. I'm going into that ring. I'm fighting for a European champion. I used to say, right? Do you know, we used to say, I had these discussions. How much for Joshua to land one on you? So he can land one on you. How much? And I'd be like, I'll take $1 million. I'll take $1 million to get punched by Joshua. And then I got punched by Spencer Oliver. Yeah. For a European flyweight who's retired for years, and he punched me, and things used to flash. Things used to go black, and you'd have a white flash. And he punched me. And then people will ask the question, how much to be punched by Joshua? No chance. No chance. I've been punched by a retired flyweight, right? Yeah. And it's like, for anyone else punched me, when I used to do the sparring, I'd be like, nothing used to happen. I'd be like, oh, no. Like, and it was right. No one's going to punch you as hard as I punch you. But listen, it's a metaphor for life. Life's constantly going to punch you in the face hard. How do you deal with that? How do you react to it? Do you come out swinging and get angry like Tony Bellew when he was getting punched in the face? Calm down under pressure, cover up. How do you react to that situation? Can you keep calm in chaos? Yeah. Like, for example, your flight gets cancelled. Everyone's losing their heads. You're at the airport. Everyone's losing their heads. Can you be that person who goes, shouting at that person is not going to help you? How can you stay calm? How can you slow things down and go, while everyone else is losing their heads, I'm going to go on. I'm going to keep my head, slow things down and go, I'm going to book the flight while everyone else is, while they're all losing their heads. That's staying calm in chaos. So I'm like, you have to train that. It doesn't just happen overnight. It happens over time. You don't just get there. And then, listen, you're going to lose your shit at some point. Like, I remember not long ago at golf, right? Mindset coach, my brother took a bad shot. He took a bad shot. I was standing behind his golf club and he launched the golf club at me and I was standing behind it. Potentially, I could have died. Again, he's launched a golf club and I lost my head at him. I lost my head.
Yeah.
I've written about this in the book as well. Like, you're always going to be tested. That was my test. I lost my shit. But it doesn't make, like, I'm never going to have this shit sorted. I'm never going to get it right. Like, it's a constant learning. I learned from that situation. And then suddenly, guess what? He did it again. He threw the golf club into the floor. It swung up and it hit me again.
Breathe.
I'm not going to, yeah. I'm like, right. I've learned from that past situation. I learned to stay like, okay, perceived failure. I lost my head. Did I? Or was that a win? Because now I've learned from it.
Yeah. Look, Monty, when you're on the pitch, are you the same? Chaos. Because you're going to have chaotic moments when you're on the pitch, especially, say, I don't know, put you in a situation, you're 2-1 up, you know, must-win game. The opposition are just bombarding you, corner after corner. Would you call that a chaotic situation?
Well, perfect example yesterday. Our game yesterday where we're winning 2-0, half time.
Yeah.
Second half, we couldn't really get hold of the ball. And they were attacking us, or winning it back, and we're keeping it long. Straight back to them. And we did that for the majority of the second half. And then it got to one, after I was doing it as well, obviously trying to defend the lead, and it got to the point where I got the ball and I looked up and I saw no movement. And I was thinking, literally, in that moment, I was thinking, all I've been doing, myself as well, and as a team, we're winning it and giving it straight back to them. So literally, I hold on to that for a little bit. The player came at me. I carried on with it. I stayed calm. So before that, I was kicking it long as well. And then I stayed calm, turned them. All of a sudden, boom, find a pass. From that pass, we scored, made it 3-0. So we're going from madness, just defend the lead. We don't concede. Boom. That moment, I felt like, you know what, I've done this for so long now in this second half where I was kicking it long. I just panicked to an extent because we're winning 2-0. And obviously, we've not had the best of luck recently. And I thought, you know, I'm just going to hold on to this. Was
that always in the back of your mind, though? So obviously, you were winning 2-0. Was that always in the back of your mind about previous games?
I didn't play the Walsall game, but I watched it.
Yeah.
I was that game, and I watched the team go into half-time 2-0 up.
Yeah.
And then they came out second half, and boom, straight away, 2-2. Then 3-2. Then 3-3, and we lost the game 4-3. Obviously, I'm watching from home. So yesterday, I ain't going to lie, we went in, I'm in a change room thinking, wow, what happens here? We got to fucking win this game. I even said it to Popey. I said to Popey, no matter what happens today, we're winning. I don't care how we're winning, but we got to win this game.
Yeah.
Really up, and I'm thinking, the same thing as Walsall can't fucking happen.
Yeah.
And we spoke again, like we spoke at halftime, we said what we had to say, and we just make sure that the first 10, 15 minutes we did not concede.
Yeah.
Because obviously it is going to play in the minds of people, players, fans, everyone. Because obviously that's last time we won was what? First week of December against Bolton?
Yeah.
That's the last game we've won.
Yeah.
And after that, we've been winning games and lost games. We've been losing games when we're being in control. Obviously, the confidence plays a little bit in certain players, and in the mind of everyone as well. Like, you can talk about everything, the club, the fans, everyone. When you go from winning games to then losing, you go from being in control to then getting hammered in the second half.
Yeah. So
yesterday was a game where we had to win no matter what it took, what we did. Like I said, before the game, I said to Popey, I said, no matter what the fuck happens today, we got to win. So one way or another.
Yeah.
And he agreed. And then at half time, we went in 2-0 up. And don't get me wrong, that Walsall game was in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
I was at home watching it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking the same thing can't happen here today. So I was just there thinking, no matter what we do, first ball, boom, kick it long, get rid of it as far as we can.
Yeah.
Until we get back in shape. And then, and in that moment where I felt like, well, we've kicked it for so long, I'm going to hold on to the ball. I'm going to hold on to it.
Yeah.
Be brave enough myself here, hold on to it for a few seconds, turn one player. Tom Conlon gave me an angle, played it to him, he played it to Burgess. Burgess played him in behind. Boom, we go. It's got to go from 5 passes.
So just that calmness brought that then, didn't it? Calmness.
Yeah, so about being calm.
Yeah.
A lot, innit? It's about being able to understand and realize what you've been doing.
Yeah. And
realize what you can do.
For that, for example, that took courage.
Yeah. Big.
Like, it's massive courage to go, do you know what? Everyone's kicking it long. Like where everyone's having a panic up.
Doing it.
It's the courage to go, I'm gonna take control of this situation. I'm gonna change this around. It's like another saying, control the controllables. What are you in control of? You're in control of. You got that ball. What are you in control of? I can control. I don't have to kick it long.
Yeah.
I can make another decision. It's that again, decision making under pressure. Or what Clive Woodward calls it, teacup. Have you heard of teacup before?
No, I've not heard of teacup. Have you, Monty?
No.
Here's a good one. So thinking correctly under pressure. So teacup is thinking correctly under pressure. So like, for example, when I was in that situation, that was thinking correctly under pressure. It was slowing the punches down.
Yeah.
And thinking correctly under pressure. Yesterday, your example was thinking, people were panicking. We're trying to protect what we got, right? Don't want to lose. Thinking correctly under pressure. That teacup. So it's teacup is making good decisions under pressure. That shows leadership skills. That shows courage. When everyone else is fearful, it's taking it on yourself and controlling what you control, right? I'm going to make a different decision. I'm going to change the decision. I'm going to take this on myself. So yeah, thinking correctly under pressure is massive. People don't obviously talk about it enough. There's so many things that go, obviously there's so many layers to different things, but what I teach people to do, again, punches are coming in, teacup, think correctly under pressure. There's all these like acronyms, right? You're struggling, you're having a mad 5 minutes. Remember, let's anchor ourselves. We're not present at the moment. You've missed a few chances. Remember to win. What's important now? So for example, what's important now? You made that decision without realizing what's important now. What's important now is that I change the decisions I make. Instead of pumping it long, I'm going to change the decision. What's important now? So again, it comes into life, right? Overthinking. Dan, you was over yesterday with the COVID. What's important now? What important now is I slow my breathing down, change my focus. What's important now is what's important now? Decision, thinking correctly under pressure. I get instead of experiencing anxiety, I can stop the anxiety by ordering a COVID test.
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't realize that we make these decisions, right?
Yeah.
Like when you know it and you can go, right, what's happening now? What's happening? Let's take an objective view. How can I think correctly under pressure? What's important now? What's important now?
Yeah. So with situations like that, I always find myself, I always describe it as like I'm sitting on the edge of a black hole. And when I'm in the black hole, and I know how to get out of it, but I just can't seem to do it. Can't seem to get out of it. Even though like the simplest thing, it's probably like the simplest thing to do is just go downstairs, do a test. But my brain had me in such a spiral. I was lying there just constantly like thinking about it. When the simplest thing was to do, get out of bed, go downstairs, do a test, go back to bed.
Yeah. So
but it sounds so simple. But last night I was in such a spiral, like I say.
Again, when you say it's a spiral, it's your state management.
Yeah.
So what you're getting people to do is control your state. So your state's important. You control your state in the morning. You control your state at every time during the day. We have to control, like, remember, control your controllables. Control what you can control. You can control your state. So then in that situation, it's like, okay, catastrophizing, right? The only negative emotion you can experience in the present moment is boredom. If we're going into the past, we're feeling guilt, shame, depression. If we're going into the future, we're feeling anxiety. We're feeling these other negative emotions. But if we think it back, if we go, the only negative experience we can experience in the present moment is boredom. So we're thinking, we're going there, we're going there, we're going there. We're going from the future to the past, future to the past. Let's bring it back to now. What's important now? Let's bring it back to the present moment, because that's the only thing we can, again, control your controllables. The only thing that we can control right now is this conversation, what we talk about. It's the only thing we've got control of. It doesn't matter what's happened, what we've got going on this afternoon. We can go there in our mind, we can mentally go there, but the only thing we've got control over now, so it's controlling. Said control your controllables. That's all you've got control over. People try and take control to so many things. Like, for example, they hit panic and you'll see people, it's amazing to watch people. So they're stocking up on toilet rolls and you're like, wow, they're trying to control their controllables. They've gone, we're going to run out of bog rolls. We're not going to have enough food. They're future pacing. They're going to anxiety. They're trying to control that situation. No, slow the fuck down. Take a breath, cover up, look for the escape. What can I do now? Like, you're covering up. What can I do? What's important now? Think correctly under pressure. While everyone else is losing their heads and getting bog roll, listen, coronavirus is not going to make you shit yourself. It's just a fact. Let's go logical. Why are we panic buying toilet roll? Why? Because in Australia, they've got a shortage of toilet rolls because they got theirs from China. So they had that's why. But we've taken that. We've copied it. We're like, everyone must be buying toilet rolls for a reason. We're going to copy what everyone else is doing. Like, do you have to do that? Like, we're going to run out of toilet rolls. Is that true? Because we haven't yet.
No.
Like, bring it back. The toilet rolls are completely stocked. It's panic, fear. Bring it back. Like, so what you did there, Monty, yesterday, fear, kick it long. We're trying to remember that our negatives are stronger than the positives. It's protect what we've got. We need to protect what we've got rather than can we take control of the situation? How can we keep calm under pressure? How can we control this situation? Can we keep controlling the ball? And then when you've calmed down, it has a knock-on effect. It's leadership. That is showing leadership. I have people go, I'm not a leader. I'm like, in my webinars, so I do a webinar or a masterclass, and someone will come out and talk, and they're like, I don't see myself as a leader. You've just shown vulnerability. That's one key strength for a leader. You've talked up in front of a group when everyone's kept quiet. That's shows the qualities of a leader. Like, so you're not a leader. And they're like, oh, never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
It's changing perceptions. We have to change perceptions. People don't realize they can change perceptions. Because my mate tells a story, and this is the brilliant story. So one of my mates, who's one of my coaches, he tells a story of, this is a great example of perception. So I say, me and Chris, right? Here's an example of perception. Same circumstance, different perception. Me and Chris are on a cliff. Birds are flying around, right? We're over the sea, right? The sun's setting. It's beautiful. And then these birds are flying around, and then one of the birds goes down, plucks a fish from the sea, and it flies off. And I say to Chris, wow, that was weird. I was completely present at that moment. That was nature at its finest. I'm so glad I got to experience this magical moment with you. And Chris says, but the fish just got murdered. Like, that was, you just witnessed murder and you think that's a beautiful experience. What's wrong with you? Sicko. You're a proper wrong un. Like, and then we go off our separate ways. And I say to my friends, like, me and Chris just had this great experience together. We was completely present in the moment. We had this great time. It was nature at its finest. And Chris goes away to his friends and says, Rob's a dick. Rob's
a fish murderer.
Yeah, Rob doesn't like Rob likes watching animals be murdered. Me and Rob, I don't think we could be friends anymore. So like, both our friends come together, and my friend said, "Oh, I heard Rob and Chris had a really good day out the other day," and they go, "Well, a good day?" Like, Chris is not even speaking to Rob anymore. Hates him, doesn't like him, doesn't want to speak to him. perception, same experience. I've seen things differently than you. Like, that's our perception. Like, we have to control the perception. Like, the positive experience is there and the negative experience is there. We can decide to choose, but what we go with is the stronger pull is the negative experience. So we go with the negative experience rather than the positive experience.
So,
we're putting it, man.
Yeah, it is. That is a really good way of putting things. Monty, I have. You know what I have? What do I have every episode?
I was about to butt in there and say chlamydia.
I've never had chlamydia. I feel pretty lucky. But although there was a guy in my high school who caught it like quite a young age, and from then on, he was called Mid Kid.
Yeah. Oh wow, so funny.
Kid.
When it got, I was like, I've got to come in with that. What do I have every episode?
What do I have every episode? Chlamydia.
Mad facts.
Yeah. You remember last week? What was that one? Remember?
Oh man. Last week was frogging.
Frogging. Rob, have you heard of frogging?
I've heard of dogging. I've never heard of frogging. So you'll have to tell me what this means, because I've got these like weird thoughts going around in my head at the moment. So you're gonna have to quickly tell me what it is.
Well, frogging is basically people that live in.
Basically, you get frogs living in people's houses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but these frogs are actually people. So like I could like sneak into someone's house and live in it for like a week or two without them knowing. But I'd live off like their food, clothes. I'd use a shower, bathroom, and then I'd move on to the next house. And that actually happens. And it's always in the attic, Monty. Did you check your attic?
I checked my attic. Yeah, there was no one in there. There was no one in there.
No one.
I think it's mad though. How could? What would you do, Rob, if you found someone living in your attic?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
To
be fair, I went up to put the Christmas decorations in the attic the other day, and I did have a look around. But I'd be like, I think I'd go with. Well, you don't know, do you? First of all, you'd be shit scared.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't think you ever know how you're gonna. You never know how you're gonna react.
No.
Right? In any situation, but
would you be aggressive? Would you be calm and composed? Would you?
Well, fear would be there first, wouldn't it? Like the first thing is fear. Like you'll be shit scared. Like as I said, I'm always like people are very like, "Oh, you've got it sorted." I'm like, "No, I'm constantly shit scared, mate. I just override it and like have a bit of courage."
Yeah.
No, you got. I honestly have no idea. I'm gonna have to go away and think about that. I'm gonna have to put it out there and say, "What would you do?"
Yeah. What would
you'd
you
be
do?
like, "Well, this person's obviously struggling and stuff, isn't he, or her?" They've got some big issues. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I have no idea. You flummoxed me. I mean, it's not often that I'm like gone, wow, I never thought about that one. That's a good one.
I have a thing.
What about you? I'm going to put it back to you. What would you do?
Well, Monty, I already know what Monty do. He did. You said you'd buy him a takeaway.
I'll buy him a takeaway. I'll bring him down, get him a takeaway, and then give him a lift to his next house. He's going to be frogging them.
Well, you go. The bigger question is, what takeaway would you get him?
I don't know, you know.
You've got to go Nando's. I'll go Nando's.
Would you feed him well, though? That's the thing. After he's been stealing your clothes, your food, you've already fed him well for a week or so.
Yeah.
I think you'll have to give him something pretty bad.
I'd probably go with kindness. I think you always go over the top. Someone, I don't know.
You've already been kind, though. Do you not think that you've been kind enough to let him take
without knowing? Like, the way I see it is, can I give this person an experience? Is probably normally I may go the opposite. So I'd be like, what do most people go with? They go with get the fuck out, do this. I go completely.
I wouldn't do that.
Go completely the other way, and be like, how can I? I always think, how can I what I try and do is my one of my things is if someone meets me, if someone comes into contact with me, how can I make?
Bed?
Hmm?
Would you offer in your bed? Sleep here for the night.
No, we've already been there 2 weeks, mate. It's not happening.
Honestly, don't know. But I'll probably be scared the shit out of him and say, "Listen, do you want a spoon?" He'd be like, "No, mate, I'm going. I'm going. I'll see you later."
Listen, I've got
away.
Listen, I've got chlamydia. It's gone.
What's the mad facts? He said, "Yeah, every week you have mad facts." What's the mad facts this week?
This week, bro. Right, is about the blue whale, which is the largest living creature. Okay, and it's even larger than most dinosaurs. Okay, you know what whale I'm on about, don't you, Monty? You've surely seen a blue whale.
I will search it up now.
Yeah, I've seen it in the National History Museum.
Yeah, right. They're huge. They're massive. Yeah. Okay, so these whales.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they can be over 100 foot in length and weigh more than 100 tons. Okay, and their hearts alone weigh 1,300 pound, which is like the size of a small car. That's a big ticker. Okay, and they've got enormous arteries. Okay, which humans could swim through. Okay, imagine that.
Can they?
Who's tried it?
Imagine that. Monty rings me up one weekend. What are you doing? I'm going blue whale
archery swimming.
Archery.
Archery. I'm going to do some vein swimming. Oh, where? Blue whale.
He's collected. He's had too many Christmas crackers, and it had facts in his complete. He's like storing them for every episode, like from the Christmas cracker facts. Like
Christmas
it though.
Cracker jokes.
Yeah. Where'd you get? Do you look them up before you come on, or they're just
man.
there?
Yeah, man. No, I do.
I done that the other day with one that I don't think anyone's been able to do it.
What's that?
Oh yes, yeah.
Breathe and swallow at the same time. Do you know it's impossible?
What's impossible?
Breathing and swallowing at the same time.
Breathe in through your nose and swallow. Yeah. He's tried it. He's tried it.
It's impossible to lick your elbow as well, isn't it?
I'm not trying that one.
All right, please record this and make sure you put that out.
It's still recording, my friend. It's all out there. Yeah. Christian Montano try and lick his elbow.
Quality. Love it.
Oh, man.
Right, Rob, is there anything you want to add? Maybe if one of our viewers or listeners is struggling with the situation, that's maybe they can't see the loved ones, or they're struggling mentally to, push forward in this pandemic that we're in. Any advice that you can give them?
Yeah, give yourself, like at the time now, especially this same thing as me, right? So the only thing that's certain in life is constant uncertainty.
Yeah.
The only certainty in life is constant uncertainty. And what we do is we have all these unmet expectations, right? So the whole point is this, is like, it's another saying, all anger and frustration comes from unmet expectations. So it's like, right, in uncertain times, give yourself some certainty. How can you create certainty in uncertain times? So for example, I've got my diary and I list out my day. Like, for example, it might be call someone. How can I make myself feel better? Who can I contact today, right, and reach out to make myself feel better? That's one of my questions. Right?
Yeah.
I'll put a name.
Yeah.
Like, what's my biggest priority today? So in the times of uncertainty, try and create as much certainty as you possibly can. That's my advice. And like, control your controllables, what you can control of. Like, listen, all shit times end. I had a phone call from someone the other day, right? And it was he's a coach as well. So he's a coach. He's done all mindset coaching. And he said, listen, my son's 16. He's falling apart. Can you speak to him? You'll be the right person to speak to him. I'm like, yes, of course I can.
Yeah.
So like, I reached out to him. I listen, what you're struggling with is like, well, my exams have been cancelled. Like, I can't see anyone. Like, I want to exercise, but I can't. I'm just really struggling. I'm like, well, here's the question. What do you want? Like, you play football. I know you play football. So what do you want? He's like, well, I want to be able to play football, and I can't play football. It's like, cool. In football, what's your biggest weakness? So it was like my physicality and my fitness, probably my mindset. I'm like, so I completely changed the tone of the wow, amazing. It's like, what, mate, amazing? What? How's this amazing? I'm like, amazing. Like, what an opportunity you've got.
Yeah.
What do you mean an opportunity? This is the one opportunity. Like, school's cancelled, right? You're not playing football, so you've got loads of recovery time. What an opportunity this is for you to come back, when you come back from football, to be the fittest, the strongest, and the strongest mentally that you've ever been. Like, this is the opportunity to come back, and I'm like, to come back. When every player comes back to football, they go, wow, what happened to you? And you'd be like,
Yeah.
well, I'm like, you're not seeing the opportunity in this. This is the only opportunity you'll ever have to have, this opportunity to work on your fitness, to work on your strength. So you've got loads of recovery time to work on your mindset. It's the one opportunity you've got. You're not going to have this opportunity again. Again, I've changed the situation. I've changed his perception. The perception is I can't do anything. I've switched the perception around, which is what an opportunity. Right? And he's like, wow, I've never thought of that like that. I'm like, cool. Here's the deal, right? I've got a course called Mindset Reset. So I've got two courses. One's called Mindset Reset. So I strip everything back and we build it up. I'm like, right, I'm going to give you access to my Mindset Reset course. So you can have that and you can work on that. Right. What you're going to do, tell me now what you're going to do in the next 2 months. What you're going to do? I want to do 10K. Okay, cool. In what time? I want to do it in this time. Now I've given him a goal. So from not having anything, no goals, I've now given him an outcome to focus on.
Yeah.
So again, switch his focus on, here's an opportunity. I want you to get from here to here. Next thing you know, he's messaged me. I've gone, right, you're going to do this, this, and this. You're going to check in with me. I'm going to keep you accountable. And then next thing you know, he's written out all his goals and he's sent them to me. Next thing you know, his dad messaged me. He's in the gym. He hasn't been to the gym for a month. He's now in the gym. I've just checked on him in his room and he's going through all your videos. Oh, wow. Amazing. What I've done, what did I do? Like 15 minutes. He's an uncertainty. I've just given him some certainty back.
Yeah.
I've flipped the script. Like the way he sees things, the way he sees the world, I've given him a different. It's the fish coming down. He's seen the fish. He's seen the fish get murdered. I've gone, well, actually, no, it's a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
I've changed the perception of it. That's all I've done. I've given him certainty. I've given him a goal to focus on. All I've done is switch his focus. So for you listening at home, if you're listening, because you are listening, right? What can you focus on right now? How can you create some certainty in your life? How can you connect with people? Give yourself a goal to focus on. This is again, it's an opportunity now. Like, what do you want to do? The world, do you want to learn a different language? Do you want to work on your mindset? How can you work on your mindset? Ask better questions to create a better outcome. Instead of, why is this happening to me? What can I do? What can I do now? All you do is ask a better question. You get a better outcome. That's all I do as a coach. I ask better questions. Instead of, why is this going wrong? What can we do to make this better? That's a better question.
Yeah.
And then you can go, well, this, and this. So create certainty, give yourself a diary, schedule things in and things will go quick. Schedule some fun times in. What series can you watch? Yeah. What friends can you connect to? How can you create this? Like, for example, I got interviewed for another podcast last week. They were like, right, we're going to chat for a podcast. We're going to have a chat, but what we're going to do is record it so people can listen in. So from an uncertainty, they've now created certainty. They've given themselves something to focus on and they've given themselves a bit of a purpose.
Yeah.
Like there's no, what's the meaning to life, right? We can go deep. What's the meaning to life? There is no meaning to life. It's the meaning that you give it. What's the purpose of life? There is no purpose. What is the purpose? It's the purpose that you create. You have to create your own purpose. That's up to you. That's in your control. What is my purpose? What's your values? So I give a values training, which is really interesting. We talk about values, but I know my values, and you'll see them seep off of me because I do these 13 questions, right? And your values will always change. So I live towards my values, helping people.
Yeah.
You'll notice it come out. If you watch my stuff now, you'll notice it come off me. Leadership, business is helping people. That's all it is. People have a negative thing towards business. The more business I drum up, the more people I help, the more lives I change. Teaching them to help themselves, teaching them to become leaders. So that's another value of mine. Another value of mine is exercise, self-development. Then another one is my relationship. They're my values. And if I live to my true values, people will see me. Your people go values, and they've got the values all wrong. They see values as, for example, honesty, integrity, like they're social idealisms. Like, for example, Chris says, I love Rob because he's so honest. No, I live to my values. If I live to my values, I'll be seen as honest. I'll be seen as having integrity. I'll be seen as all these things if I live to my values.
Yeah.
So what do you value? Go in. If anyone's listening, right, you can go. I'll send it to you. Like, I've got an audio book that people can listen to. That's the first stage, and then get my emails, and you can come into my system. So listen to my audio book, which will help you. So it's www.footballmistakesfreeaudiobook.com. Go to that, and then from there, you'll come into my stuff. You'll start listening, and then maybe if you've got courage, you'll message me and go, Rob, that values training, can you send it to me? I'll be like, yeah, no worries. And guess what? Things will start changing.
There you go.
It all starts.
You want the values training now, don't you?
It all starts from courage within yourself, though, doesn't it? In terms of if you're willing to change your views, the position that you're in, it comes from you understanding that that's what you need, and be honest enough and open with yourself to get the help and help yourself, more importantly.
Yeah, it all starts from you. It all starts from, listen, you're your own best mentor. If you ask the right questions, you can create the right outcome. It's about, remember, we don't like change. We like consistency. Certainty is consistency. We like doing things the same way. We're habitually conditioned. We work in patterns. Yeah. We like things staying consistent. People don't like change. We try and fight that change. It's about being comfortable, being uncomfortable, having the courage to go, maybe this will, like, what can I do now? Who can help me? What can do this? How can I do that? It's being, listen, you're going to change if you like it or not. If you don't change, you'll be forced into change by, like, for example, I resisted change. Don't be vulnerable. Ego. If, like, the shit hit the fan and then I was forced into it. So if you don't make the change, the world will force you to change. The events will happen that will force you to do it. So instead of being reactive, be proactive. Yeah. Be proactive about it. Most people are in a reactive state. They react to situations. They're reacting to coronavirus. They're reacting to getting abused on Twitter. They're reacting to criticism. They're getting up first thing in the morning. I'm like, if it starts first thing in the morning, we'd be proactive. We have a morning routine. We create certainty by having a morning routine that works for you, rather than going on Instagram and scrolling or Facebook. Create certainty and uncertainty. Have the courage to go, I'm going to change. And because people don't want you to remember, you have to go against human behavior. But humans don't want you to change. People like you the way you are. People want to pull you. It's the crabs in the bucket. If you put one crab in a bucket, it will crawl out. If you put loads of crabs in a bucket, right, and one tries to crawl out, the rest of the crabs will pull it back and go, get the fuck back here. You ain't getting out. People, that's like people. People are like crabs, right? They don't want. They may want. A lot of people say they want the best for you, but people don't like you overtaking them.
Amen.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
Yeah.
They don't like you changing. They're like, you've changed. No. You've changed. Why have you changed? You're happy the way you are. I'm going to lose weight. I know you don't need to lose weight.
Yeah.
Stay as you are. Yeah. Stay as you are. I want to stop drinking alcohol. And they go, well, I can't go out drinking with you then. No, you don't need to do that. Like people don't want change. People don't want change. You go, listen, you go your own path. If people don't, and again, it's about people liking you, right? I always do this thing. I'm like, who wants to be liked? And everyone puts their hand up. They're like, who wants everyone to like them? Me. I want everyone to like me. Okay, that means if you want everyone to like you, you have to change your behavior to every person.
Yeah.
And not be authentically you, right? And then I ask a question: who doesn't like someone? Oh, right. So you want to be like everyone, but you don't like everyone.
That's
right?
True. That's true.
Mad.
How does that? Right. So you can't, right? Yeah, but people don't think of it that way. I want to be liked. I want to be liked. I'm like, I'm quite happy with myself, right? I will be authentically me. And if you don't like me, don't be offended. But I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm happy enough in my own skin. Like, you don't like me, I don't need you in my life, right? I'm going to offer value. If you're triggered by that, I don't give a shit. Like, obviously, the people who are around me, my friends and my family, Jen, my fiance, I care what she thinks. My mum, I care what she thinks. My clients. But if you don't know me, I ain't changing for you. I'm going to be authentically me. If you don't like me, like, again, it's like, for example, when I do my coaching, people are aware of me. I swear on my podcast, they're like, why aren't you professional? What is professional? Again, it's a perception.
Yeah, I've been pulled up about that as well, you know.
What have you?
Yeah, because
this podcast.
Yeah, I swear on the podcast.
Mm.
But who pulled you up?
It's like no one, like probably like one or two people have said like amongst like the family members, like, well, why are you swearing on your podcast? It's unprofessional. And I'm like, well, that's me.
Yeah,
I swear. So fuck. That's me. It's language, man. We spoke about this before, and it pisses me off when people have an issue with me saying fuck or piss or any other swear word. It's language. It's language.
But you're trying to actively, for me, like, for example, the players that I speak to, they swear.
Yeah.
If I'm, the problem is, right, a lot of players, they won't go and speak to someone, or they've got problems and they won't speak to someone because they're like, you're not like me. You're sitting in a room with a clipboard and you're sitting there. Guess what? Like, I'm judged constantly, week in, week out. I'm judged by the fans. I'm judged by the manager. I'm judged by other players. So the last thing I want to do is sit in a room with someone judging me.
Yeah.
But that's the last thing I want to do. That's the perception of, you're going to see a therapist. What do we think? Therapist sitting in a room, sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
Like, that's the perception we have. So, like, the reason I swear, like, I'm not that person. I'm not a sports psychiatrist. I'm not that. That. That's not me. Like, I'm completely against that. I'm going to swear, be authentically me. I'm not going to wear a shirt and a tie because that's not me. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I got asked to do a corporate webinar for this big corporate company. Like, you need to do it this way, this way, this way. And I went, no, fuck you. I'm not doing it that way. You asked me to come on, you've listened to my stuff and you like the way I do things, but now you want to change me. No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, do it this way. No, I'll do it the way that I'm going to do it, or I'm not coming on.
Yeah.
What do you want? I don't give a crap. I honestly don't need you. I don't need you. So what I did in this corporate webinar, I was like, do you know what? I'm doing this corporate webinar. They give me free reign. I'm going to wear a shirt and a tie. All right. I'm going to wear a shirt and a tie. And then I'm going to hammer the corporate world for being full of shit, full of ego. Again, wearing masks everywhere, pretending that you're these business people. So in this corporate webinar, instead of being what they think it's going to be, is the presentation, no swearing, boring as fuck. I'm going to hammer the corporate world. I'm going to wear a shirt and tie. And in the middle of it, I'm going to strip and wear a Superman t-shirt and then put on my cap and be like, this is me. If you don't like it, I don't give a shit. Which I did, right? And I got 100% satisfaction rating.
Yeah, boy.
I got all these messages and people said, and then I got asked to do it in front of 1,000. So they went, can you do another one, but do it to the whole of the corporation? I went, no. I'm not doing it. No, I don't want to do it. That's not the world that I want to be in. Like the world of full of shit. And no, I'm going to be authentically me. If you don't like me, it's not my business. It's not my business to decide who likes me or not.
Yeah.
If I start getting involved in your business, which is your thinking, that's not in my control. I can't control that. Most people are like, oh, I wonder what he's thinking. Or if he likes me, he must be thinking this about me. She must be thinking that about me. I'm like, well, drop your ego. No one actually thinks about you that much. No one cares.
Yeah.
And you can't control that. You can't even control your own thinking. Never mind someone else's. Jesus, man.
So before we finish, just a bit more info of where the viewers and listeners could find you. Where can we find you?
So you can find me on Instagram, or LinkedIn. So just look up Rob Blackburne, or if you go at the Footballer's Mindset, so at the _Footballers _Mindset. I realize there's another bloke called the Footballer's Mindset as well, so I'm gonna have to rechange. I'm gonna rebrand so that you can go to the Footballer's Mindset podcast. You can message me at Rob at the Footballer's Mindset. But most of all, listen, if you get anything from today, if you like this, then download my audiobook.
Yes.
So www.footballmistakesfreeaudiobook.com. Go to that and you'll get a lot of value. My whole aim is just to provide as much value as I can.
Send me or Dan the link to it and we'll put it under the...
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, we'll get it in the descriptions.
We'll put it in the descriptions as well.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
Perfect. Yeah, so just find me there.
Yeah, man. Take it easy, Rob.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Really enjoyed it.
Have a great day, man.
See you later, mate.
Take it easy.
Men Unite podcast with Vince and Monty.